Hello and welcome to Sensational South. I'm Harish Upadhyay. This is the show that gets you the flavor of South India over the next 30 minutes or so. Our top story today comes from Tamil Nadu. The state government's decision to release 49 prisoners has triggered a huge political storm. The AIADMK and the DMK are trying to claim credit for the decision, while on the other hand, the BJP has opposed it. What are the political ramifications of this decision? Will it help any party in the elections? We'll debate that, but first the story.
Muslim organizations took to the streets of Tamil Nadu against the ruling DMK government for its inaction over the release of Muslim prisoners. These were not stray demands because political parties in the state too are demanding the same. At the forefront of the protest is the AIADMK. After severing ties with the BJP, the party has set its strategy for the 2024 Lok Sabha elections to woo back the minority vote. Edappadi Palaniswamy moved a special calling attention motion in the assembly, urging the state government to ensure the release of 36 Muslim prisoners, including those involved in the 1998 Coimbatore blast case. The principal opposition party in the state lashed out at the DMK for making false promises before elections and later turning a blind eye to the plight of these prisoners.
Our leader been vociferous towards this for a quite long time. Indeed, while Mrs. Stalin claims that he has fulfilled all the promises in their manifesto, this crucial point is missing, and there were repeated reminders and requests from the section of people on those prisoners who are languishing in the jail for more than 2 decades. It is a demand, persistent demand, which MK Stalin has not given an ear to.
Tamil Nadu Chief Minister MK Stalin took a dig at EPS, seeking to know the reason behind the AIADMK's sudden concern for Muslims. The ruling party also blamed the governor for the delay in release of Muslim prisoners. Tamil Nadu's Law Minister S. Raghupati has written to the Governor R.N. Ravi urging the latter to give consent for premature release of 49 life convicts by invoking Article 161 of the Constitution.
Here there is no governor, there is only an RSS agent sitting here in the name of governor. Anything which will do good to Muslim will not be allowed, permitted by this governor.
The only one striking a discordant note in the state on this issue is the BJP. The Saffron Party has warned both the DMK and the AIADMK against the release of terror convicts just because they are Muslims.
In 1998, so many lives were lost, huge properties were lost, and many injured. Hundreds of people have been injured. It is definitely highly condemnable for seeking the release of these prisoners, particularly saying that Muslim prisoners means what? These people are trying to certify these people as Muslims. We don't call terrorists as Muslims because all Muslims are not terrorists.
The political fireworks have begun. So far, the governor's office has remained silent on relief. But will this become a key election narrative in 2024? We'll find out in the coming months.
Well, to debate this further, we have our eminent panel joining us today on the show. We have Mr. Dharan of the DMK. We have Mr. Kovai Satyan of the AIADMK. We have Mr. Murari, a political analyst, joining us on the show. I'll come to you, Mr. Dharan, first. The Supreme Court on the 4th of this month refused to give bail to some of these convicts in the Coimbatore bomb blast case, the 1998 bomb blast case. And many of them are also in this list of prisoners that are slated to be released, or the state government's recommendation list. How can the Tamil Nadu government justify this when the apex court of the country has refused to give them bail?
Well, listen. See, first of all, the role of the prison system in India is to reform people, right? So how long do you put someone in prison? So the idea is to reform, right? So it also have to do with human rights of the prisoners. But having also said that, how was the decision to release prisoners made? We formed a committee headed by retired High Court Justice, right? This committee, alongside 6 committee members, recommended about 250 odd prisoners who were eligible to be released, out of which the state government shortlisted 49, and this was sent to the governor. What is the governor's job? As per the Article 161, it was very clear in Perarivalan case itself, where Justice Nahesh Rao made it profoundly clear that governor is nothing but shorthand expression of the State Council of Ministers, which means when the State Council of Ministers have sent a recommendation to release these 49 prisoners, the governor has no job to sit on them. His only job is to assent to the will of the Council of Ministers, because the Council of Ministers represent the will of the 8 crore people of Tamil Nadu. This has been reaffirmed continuously by subsequent Supreme Court verdicts as recent as Pereri Valan, where Justice Nayesh Rao clearly said that
Yes.
governor nothing but shortened expression. So why is this governor sitting? Which clearly makes things clear that this governor is nothing but an RSS representative. And what is confusing for me is also the AIADMK party, which is now acting like a confused chameleon, has not pointed finger at the governor for deviating from the constitution and deviating from or digressing from the Supreme Court verdicts, right? CAA and NRC Act has come in, which is against.
In fact, I'll come to the AIADMK point in just a
only
bit.
because of AIADMK
But
support.
Mr. Dharan,
Why is
the
AIADMK now
BJP
coming
says,
and giving
what about
years?
58 people? I'll come to the AIADMK point in a bit, but BJP is asking, what about 58 people who lost their life in 1998 in the Coimbatore blast, their families? They need to have some closure, and perhaps some of these releases will, one, go against those victims. Second, it also raises the larger question of radicalization that we have seen in Tamil Nadu and parts of South India.
No, see, I think it's a myth that there's radicalization happening in Tamil Nadu, and more so in South. Tamil Nadu has been peaceful, and when it comes to communal violences or terrorist attack, it has been the lowest in Tamil Nadu and other southern states. It could be it's mostly used by BJP as a political propaganda to appease their vote bank, or to because they don't have development to show, they want to use it as an appeasement tactics in the northern belt. But having said it, Tamil Nadu is peaceful, and there is no radicalization that's happening in Tamil Nadu. Anywhere and everywhere in the world, one or two aberrations might happen, be it
Since
Norway
you
or even
appeasement, I'll quickly bring in Mr. Kovai Satyan of the AIADMK. Mr. Satyan, there are two questions here. The Chief Minister is asking, why is the AIADMK suddenly found some new love for the minorities? Second, others pointing out that the AIADMK did not release a single Muslim prisoner during its tenure.
If there is a Chief Minister who talks in the Assembly without data and facts, it is Mr. M.K. Stalin. From the year 2015 to 21, 15 prisoners belonging to the Muslim religion were released, who are languishing in prison. Couple of them completed their terms, others took the legal remorse. I am surprised how come a Chief Minister in the Assembly doesn't know this fact. And the point number two, having deceived by M.K. Stalin's fake promises like his election manifesto, the families of the prisoners who are languishing in the jail and a couple of Muslim bodies and parties representing Islam religion had come forward and placed their request to our leader Edappadiar to take up this issue. Where were DMK when 15 prisoners were released between 2016 to 2021? Why didn't BJP object? Because it was as per the law. We followed the law. And what DMK did, they gave fake promises to all these people stating, moment we are in power,
So
we will release
AIADMK's
these prisoners.
decision of
And
supporting
let me
CAA
finish.
and
Please don't
NRC is
interrupt.
being questioned.
Let me finish. Let me give the data and facts. Give my
Okay,
time.
quickly.
2021, September 15, this DMK releases a GO stating clause of prisoners who cannot come under this. It had two categories, 10 plus years of prisoners, 20 plus years of prisoners, and the clause says terrorism, rape and violence. And all these people who are languishing in prison, who were sentenced for the nature of their crime way back in 1999, are still there beyond their period. And they are not able to be released because of the GO passed by DMK. Now they are putting the blame on the governor. Look at how shamelessly they lie. They say we are taking Article 161. We invoke Article 161 to release them. It was our leader Amma who said, I will invoke Article 161 to release Pereri Valan, Rajiv Gandhi convicts. It was DMK in ally with Congress at the center opposed the move in Supreme Court. They said state doesn't have that unilateral right. They cannot invoke without the consent of the center. And today they come and say it is because of governor we are not able to release. It is because of Article 161 we are not. What is this? How many years and days they will keep lying shamelessly to the people of Tamil Nadu and to the people of India?
In fact, I'll quickly go across to Mr. Murari. Mr. Murari, how do you see these developments? The AIADMK suddenly is showing concern for the minority. The DMK says we've always stood with them. How do you see this panning out electorally, sir, politically also?
Politically, yes, it is a fallout of the ADMK parting company with the BJP. That's the reason why they are talking about they broke company with the BJP because they did not want to lose minority vote. They are not looking at the next assembly parliament election 24, but beyond that in 26. They have seen the last two elections, they have lost all the minority votes because of the alliance with the BJP. In return, BJP was not bringing anything plus. The parliament, it makes sense because you decide who should rule at the center. In assembly, it is totally no relevance. So why lose that? They lost both the elections. Even the 2019 ADMK concentrated mainly on the by-elections we held along with the Lok Sabha elections, about 26 or something. Because and so everybody tried get enough number to make his government into a majority. That is the background. Now he says there is why you have to carry this excess baggage. Because if you go with the BJP, that means minority vote will not be. As far as DMK is concerned, it has also done business with the BJP as part of the Vajpayee government. And now then it went to UPA. But it's far more Muslims trust the DMK much more than the ADMK. Because all the other DMK spokesmen have also said ADMK has been totally with the BJP as a big team and subservient to it. They supported the CAA, they supported the Citizenship Act. Everywhere they have gone along with that. Now, after breaking of that, they want to show they are with the Muslims, and they say that the Muslims should convicted in the Coimbatore blast should be released prematurely. Now, come to the legal point of it. I don't think it is going to happen because out of the 20 prisoners who have been languishing jail for 35 years since the 1998 blast, as recently as a few days ago, Supreme Court chunked their bail plea. Understand? They said they have spent more than 25 years and should at least be released on bail. Supreme Court said nothing doing. You may have spent 25 years, but you are responsible for the death of 58 people. So that being the case, this even otherwise the hostile governor will conveniently set the Supreme Court. That's what Annamali also said, State President. You cannot release them now. But how old are they? How many years they are spent?
I will take that legal point to Mr. Dharnidharan in a bit. But the other point that many people are talking about is they are talking about radicalization. In fact, BJP has also pointed this. Do you believe that efforts to tackle radicalization would take a huge hit because of a decision like this? I mean, that's what the BJP is saying.
No, radicalization was again, if you link to that, I will link it to Ayodhya. Who demolished the mosque? The BJP, the RSS, the Sangh Parivar. It's a chain reaction. Action, reaction. That's what the Modi said in Gujarat also after the riots. Action, reaction. It's an endless story. Action, reaction. That what happened in Tamil Nadu was totally related to Ayodhya and post-Ayodhya violence, bomb blasts and all. It happened in Bombay also, all over India. So mainly in Bombay and Coimbatore, we had serial violence, communal riots followed by serial blasts. Only in Bombay and Coimbatore. I've covered both Coimbatore and Bombay. I know what it is like. So, and Coimbatore blast, serial blast, the target was Advani, was arrived that day. Luckily for him, he arrived a little late, so he escaped. And they had simultaneous blasts. You know what happened? And when the judgment was delivered also, I was there. At that time, except for S.A. Bharsha, who was the letter, they since banned Aluma, he was already 50, and his nephew, Muhammad Ansari, all of us were young radicals in their 20s and 25. They're totally unrepentant. I don't blame them for the fact that they're radicalized. I don't know how the imprisonment of last 25 years changed them. So on an individual basis, the government can consider releasing, not en masse. That's a valid point.
I'll take it to Mr. Dharnidharan. Yes, Mr. Dharan, two quick points here. There's a possibility of this getting challenged in a higher court and then getting into a legal tangle. Second, you have Mr. Murari raising the larger question saying it's very difficult to believe that these convicts would have repented and reformed themselves.
See, that means that then you don't even have the system of prison itself, no. Normally, you have a system of prison under the assumption that people reform, and they do reform, right? how can one person gentleman come and say that no, they don't reform? That's point one. And the point number two is very simple. What does the law of this land say? Right? What does the law of the land say? Based on a committee, when the prisoners have spent certain amount of years and they fulfill certain criteria, and when subsequently the State Council of Ministers recommend for their release, the governor should immediately give assent, because he is nothing but shortened expression of the State Council of Ministers, right? So why bother about other things? What will happen in the higher court of law? That's not how the law works. As per the constitution, the moment the state government is sending something, that is the State Council of Ministers representing the people of Tamil Nadu, sending something to the governor such as this, as per the Article 161, he has to give his assent and send it back.
So the state government hasn't had a very
I have only one question.
Governor. Do you
When the
believe in
Supreme
this
Court says
matter?
they are not even entitled to bail after 25 years, how will the governor allow them to be released prematurely, even on compassionate grounds? Let the government convince the Supreme Court and
Okay,
the
Mr.
governor.
Dharan, a quick
That is
reply
my
to
only
that.
question.
No, but
Whether they deserve or not, that's a different question.
The Supreme Court tell in case of Perarivalan, it clearly said that the law. Sorry, what did the Supreme Court say? The Supreme Court clearly said during Perarivalan case that the governor should abide by whatever the State Council of Ministers have decided on this matter. It's very clear. Not just that, you can go way back to 1974, and until now there have been dozen of cases on this matter, and it's very profoundly clear that State Council of Ministers have the final say in this, not the governor. What more can a Supreme Court say than saying that governor is nothing but shorthand expression for the State Council of Ministers? What more can the Supreme Court say to make this governor perform, to sign, and not to get confused and act as an RSS ideologue?
In fact, we are completely out of time on this debate, but a couple of interesting aspects to watch out. How will the governor respond to this, and also will this end up in court, especially after the kind of recommendation, or rather the kind of observation that the Supreme Court has made in that bail plea on the 4th of October. Thank you, Mr. Dharni Dharan and Mr. Kovai Satyan and Mr. Murari, for joining us on this show. Well, that was the political storm that's brewing in Tamil Nadu. We'll get you more news from across South India, but after a quick break.